As part of my gear review for my website, I decided to review some solid fuel burning stoves, wood burning and Esbit burning stoves. And one of the most popular that I used many backpacking trips is the Bushbuddy stove. And this is a wood burning stove, and you could through an adaptation use a little cup, and the cup goes in there, and the Esbit tablet fits inside the little cup, so you can burn Esbit tablets as well as solid fuel tablets. But this in turn is the Bushbuddy, and it's approximately 5.2 ounces or 5.6 depending upon what gauge of metal that you choose. And it's the first double-walled heat-shielded stove probably on the market, and it's manufactured up in Alaska, and they have a backlog of stoves that are on that you back order. They have two different parts to it. And then one part comes packed inside the other part, just like this. And the idea is that you carry it in a little bag or something like that. And the thing is, it's geared for have a pot to sit on at the very top of this. And your pot, you want something a half liter to a liter, no more than that pot. And it's used usually for boiling water. But as in all of your wood burning stoves, it takes a lot longer than your canister stoves, your fuel under pressure, because it burns at a higher rate. This stove is actually about 138 grams in weight, and the idea is that you break up sticks and you feed it inside of the area here. And the idea is that the air comes in through the bottom, and as the wood burns, it sucks it up and creates an updraft, and the updraft brings the heat with it. And once it gets going, you can feed it through this little opening right here, this little opening, and it keeps it going. And as I say, all the wood burning stoves and solid fuel burning stoves will take a little bit longer to boil water. I found that at times around 8 to 10 minutes is probably the time that it took me to boil water with the Bushbuddy. And I liked the Bushbuddy because it was light, and I could use the available materials around the campground or around the site. The disadvantages are that if your wood is wet, it's harder to get going, and that it's going to take some time. So if you're out for a long hike, you're going 25 to 30 miles, and you come into your shelter, your campsite, and it's a little bit later, and you don't want to wait for everything to heat up, to boil the water. Then you can use this stove. Otherwise, it'll take a lot longer to heat your water so that you can cook by it. But it's a good stove. The other disadvantage is, just like any wood burning or any solid fuel burning stove, you're going to have carbon deposits on your kettle that you're using to boil the water in. And doesn't sound like a big deal, but the soot will get on everything, and you have to carry it in an extra pouch or an extra sack so that won't occur, and then you have to wipe it down occasionally because of that. So it's a pain in the neck for that, and because of that, I don't usually use the solid fuel burning stoves.